Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's iKmRni. Thank you so much for clicking on today's Last of Us video. I haven't said that in quite some time, but in today's video, we're going to be talking about some of the key features that I would like to see in the Uncharted multiplayer, because in my opinion, Naughty Dog makes some of the best multiplayer games, and it's a sad thing that a lot of people don't really play. The Last of Us, their faction's multiplayer game mode here is probably one of the best multiplayer game types, like, period, on the PS4. It is fantastic. I have been addicted to this game ever since it came out on the PS4. You know, I didn't give it a chance because the PS3's connection sucks so much. Like, if you ever tried to play The Last of Us on PS3, it never worked out. Even if you were a Call of Duty player, the Xbox connections were far better. But ever since we started playing for PlayStation Plus, and now that we have the PS4 is being paid and actually has a decent system going on, I can play multiplayer games with a lot better ease, and it's just so fantastic playing The Last of Us on this game. Watch me tear these guys, taking 3 people out all by myself, of course using my teammates as distractions. So, just quick background, I've been playing on Naughty Dog's games pretty much since the beginning. Crash Bandicoot, I think, was the first PlayStation game I ever played. Back when I was a child, my father bought PlayStation 1, the old one where you had to flip over to make sure the games run sometimes, but I played Crash Bandicoot, and here we are to Uncharted 2 was the first multiplayer game. It wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't really play that much into it, but then Uncharted 3 went really big, and they did partner up with Machinima and did a lot of great things with their theater mode, so I played a lot of Uncharted 3, but The Last of Us is by far my favorite, so I'm really excited to see what they'll do with The Last of Us 2. But let's talk about Uncharted and the key things that I hope Naughty Dog sticks to that they brought over from Last of Us and puts it into Uncharted 4. My number one thing, and this is a must because a lot of shooters, or in general multiplayer games, seem to be getting away from this. I like to have a skill gap. When I got into The Last of Us, I was way behind because everybody who had a PS4 also had a PS3 and are pretty much pros when it comes to The Last of Us on the PS3. They knew what they were doing. So it took me about 2 solid months of consistent playing, getting my ass owned every single game before I finally actually became decent in a game, and now I would consider myself a top 10% player. I do really good, and that skill gap, it feels so rewarding. When you come from a terrible, crappy player and now you're dominating in the lobbies, that is the best feeling you could have in a multiplayer experience, so I hope Naughty Dog sticks to their roots and keeps that going on. Number 2 is going to have to be customization. The Last of Us has a great customization, but not nearly as awesome as Uncharted 3, and hopefully it could go something crazy like Grand Theft Auto. Let us be able to customize our characters throughout the wazoo. We have hats and clothes and emblems that we can customize, but it's nowhere near as like in-depth as Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty Black Ops 3, for example. Those games are really cool with the customization, and hopefully Uncharted does so. Uncharted 4 does just as much when it comes to the PS4. I remember back in like Uncharted 3, I think you could play as fat Nathan Drake. A lot of cool stuff like that, but that also brings on the question, do I want microtransactions? Yes and no. Like, I'm cool with microtransactions coming out later in the game, like, you know, maybe some hats and stuff like that, but don't make, like, where The Last of Us, I believe a lot of people are kind of pissed off because the shotgun is so overpowered. In some people's opinion, in my opinion, I don't really care what if I get killed with a shotgun. It doesn't feel cheap to me, but hopefully Naughty Dog does not bring on microtransactions like that onto Uncharted 4. But cosmetic stuff, that's really cool. You know, we could have Christmas theme, Halloween themes, all kinds of stuff to make the game feel more fun and like up with the times. That's what I'm all for. Number 3, The Last of Us map size. If you were to ask me about Uncharted 3's maps, I would think most of them were pretty boring and none of them really stuck out in my head. I think the map size was a little too big on the Uncharted side. Multiplayer on The Last of Us, I think the map size are perfectly, and it just really, you don't want to have a big map size where a lot of action isn't happening. I found that was a huge problem with Call of Duty Ghost, Uncharted 3, Battlefield, you name it. Some of the games that are not really, I guess, designed to have such big maps, but the community or the developers just put apart from the single player game, really kind of throws it off. And the final part, this is something Naughty Dog has never done before, and I think it was a huge missing aspect when it came to The Last of Us factions, is give us something that's fun with co-op, okay? The Last of Us multiplayer is very competitive. In my opinion, it could be as competitive as Counter-Strike. It's such a hard game to get into, and there's a lot of competition. Everybody's trying to win, so the way you can counteract that is giving us a fun horde mode. that is something severely lacking in my opinion when it came to The Last of Us. There is nothing that's super fun where you just chill and try to survive a lot of rounds. A lot of games these days are having some kind of horde mode, and The Last of Us really missed out with not having a zombie horde mode with some type of wave system. And this type of map area would be really fun, you know, I think a lot of people will like that. But Uncharted, you know, there aren't no zombies in that game, so what you could do is you could have those like temple monsters back from Uncharted 2. Just any type of monster, because I'm sure there's some kind of mystical element going to be going on in Uncharted 4, so have that and make it a fun horde mode. But guys, that's everything I have in today's video so far. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this in the comment section down below. If you have any ideas that you would like to see in Uncharted 4's multiplayer, be sure to leave them down below too. And guys, if you're new to the channel, be sure to click the red subscribe right below the video. It's free and it keeps you up to date with all my videos. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next one.